We're going to make today one of my favorite rubs, which is called Memphis Dust. And I learned this from a fellow by the name of Meathead on Amazing Ribs. He has some fantastic recipes there. Now this dust is usually used in pork dishes. And you can put it on your ribs, you can put it on your smoked shoulder or pork collar. You can make pulled pork with this. You can even put it on your pork chops if you want. It's really a very, very nice dry rub. Now this rub has no salt in it because generally we tend to dry brine our meat before we put the rubs on it. So your commercially prepared rubs will have a lot of salt in it. This has zero salt because it assumes you have salted your meat to what you like on here. So basically it's sugar based, and we start here with our sugar mixture. And this is a mixture of half brown sugar and half white sugar in here, and this is about 1 cup or so of sugar. And then to that we're going to add some paprika. And so here I have some Hungarian paprika, which is a very nice brand. And so we have this here, and this is approximately about 1/4 of a cup of paprika. So we're going to add that into this mixture. We're going to use our whisk to have give it a bit of a mix here. And we'll do that to each of our rounds then for this. And then we're going to add some garlic powder, and we're going to add some ground black pepper, and some ginger and some onion powder. Now, so we've been using these powders here that you can get, and you want to use the powder rather than the fresh garlic or the fresh onion. If you're going to use it right away and put it on the meat, you could use the fresh stuff. But this is actually, we kind of make a batch of this, lasts us for a few times, and if it was fresh, you couldn't keep it as long. So this is the ground black pepper and the garlic powder and the ginger and the onion powder here. So this has all been pre-ground, and I had to do this because our powders kind of stick together here in the tropics. You know, after you have a powder for a while, it doesn't stay a powder, it starts to become solid. So you have to regrind it then. And so then we're going to add this in. And then the last thing that we add, so now we have savory in here, we have paprika, we have onion, we have garlic, we have sugar and savory, and there's one more thing that we're going to add, and that is rosemary. And this is a jar of organic rosemary, and that's really very nice. But if we add it in the form that it is now, which is the dried leaves, this won't work very well in the rub because we need to release more of that flavor. And so we've used, we've taken our spice and we've put it in our mortar and pestle, and we've ground it up. And so now we have it into a rosemary powder. We're going to add that in. And we found out, you know, you might want to add, rosemary to a pork dish. And it actually goes surprisingly very well. We had a taste test when we were doing bacon a few months ago, and we did many types of bacons. We did 12 different variations of that, and 2 of the recipes had rosemary in it. And we had a tasting party for that, and the rosemary flavored bacon came out on top. So it's really very good. So we just stir this in, and there we have it. This is Memphis Dust. And we will put this as a rub, and quite generously onto the pork. We're going to cook some pork belly tomorrow, so we're going to use this, and you put it on there. It does not have to be on, maybe only 1 or 2 hours before you put it on the grill. Now you can wet your meat and then rub it in. Some people take actually mustard and coat the meat with mustard and then layer on the Memphis Dust so that the mustard sort of helps it stick. It gives a little bit more sour, tart flavor to the meat when you do that. I personally don't put mustard on my pork like that, but some people do. So you just want to wet it and put it on there and let it sit for about an hour or two, and then slow cook your meat away. There you go.